Now we can hear each other talk.
Wow, that's awesome.
Isn't that?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that.
And here we go from court number 1 here at Dublin Jerome High School. It is Jeremy Scott getting set for a 5th grade consolation game. So I misspoke last game. I was talking about how Kentucky Premier would be moving on to the championship. It's actually another round, and then it's the championship game for the 5th grade. But this is a consolation game, and the winner of this game will go on to play the Raptors at 2:20, and that'll be on court number 4 here at Dublin Jerome High School. So with that being the case, we are set for action here. The Hornets out of South Central Ohio, being coached by Jeff Miller, and then the Impact out of Newark, or Newark if you prefer, and they are coached by Coach Shackelford. So we are set to go here at court number 1. Consolation game, the Hornets, the Impact. Tipping for the Hornets will be number 30, Holbert, and tipping for the Impact, number 24, Weigel. The ball up in the air. This one controlled by the Hornets, and that is number 2, Perini, who has it. Perini on offense, and she's going to take it into the short corner, then pass it back outside to the right wing. Taking a quick shot, that's up, that's no good. That was number 4, Ingram, and it's taken by the Impact. Back on the other end now, the Impact on offense. That is Geller who has it, and she dishes it into the low post, driving baseline, putting it up, and they're going to say that she stepped on the end line. Yes, they did. Okay, she thought she was fouled. That was number 24, Weigel, who thought that she was fouled and she was going to go to the free throw line, but they said that she stepped on the baseline on her drive. And so it is this way here. As there's a tie-up, and this will favor the Ohio Impact. So the Ohio Impact off of that jump ball get this, and they will get it back on offense. No score with a little over 30 seconds, gone by in this first half. And there's a steal in the backcourt by the Hornets. That is number 2, Perini, who has it. And then there's a ball that goes out of bounds, and it will be Impact's ball once again. So Perini with a nice steal, but not able to capitalize off of it. And it comes back to the Ohio Impact on offense. Impact with a full court press they've got to beat, and they do finally get it in. And that is Holmberg who has it. Holmberg pulls up and has it stolen away. Steal by Perini. She dishes it off, and that is number 11, Carpenter, who has it. Carpenter dishes it down low, and getting tied up in the paint is Smith. And let's see, another jump ball. This one's going to stay on this end. It will be Hornets' ball once again. Inbounds it comes. That's Smith with a shot from the short corner. She's fouled on her way up, and now Smith will go to the line, and Smith will shoot 2 free throws. That's the first team foul on either side. This one on the Impact. So it'll be Smith stepping up to the line, and she will shoot a pair of foul shots. She's trying to find the free throw line. Again, there is beige tape over her beige court, so some of these players have to really look hard to see. And she misfires on that first free throw. Second shot for Smith forthcoming. It is up, and she makes that one. So the Hornets draw first blood. It's 1-0 in favor of the Hornets. Full court press here. That's Quackenbush who has it, and she's trying to make it out of the backcourt. She finally does, but then she's tied up once she gets to the front court, and it's taken away by Perini. Perini on the other end with a drive, with a shot. That's no good, and rebounded by the Hornets on the offensive side. That's going to go off of the Hornets, and that was number 11 who dribbled it off her foot, Carpenter, and out of bounds it went off of Carpenter's foot, and it is Impact's ball once again. Inbounds it comes. What a nice outlet pass. Coming up ahead, putting it up, and putting it in there. That is number 24, Fleck. No, I'm sorry, number 24, Weigel, and it is 2-1, in favor of the Impact. Trying to get situated here. On the other end, and on the drive, she's going to be called for a travel. That is Holbert. Holbert called for the travel, and so it goes back to the Impact, who have a 2-1 advantage. Full court press again. That's Quackenbush trying to get the ball into the front court. She finally does. She gets it ahead and putting it up and getting fouled on her way up That is Holmberg. So Holmberg is now going to go to the line, and she is going to shoot a pair. That foul on number 25, Smith. So that's the Hornets' first team foul, and it will be number 25 with the foul, and Holmberg going to the line and shooting 2. Holmberg at the line, and rims out on her. No good. As Coach Shackelford has a few words with Quackenbush. There's another shot. That one's short for Holmberg. So Holmberg 0 for 2, that trip to the charity stripe, and it remains 2-1 in favor of the Impact. There's a steal, stolen away by the Impact. That is number 15, Geller on the steal. And that foul on Holbert, that is her first. And there's a timeout on the floor, 2-1 the score. The Impact with that advantage over the Hornets, and we'll be back right here on GBA TV.
This is Tom Strasser from GBA TV Studios at the 14th Annual Celtic Classic here at Dublin Jerome. And you're watching GBA TV on Facebook and YouTube, where you are watching over 20 hours of live streaming games as well as interviews from players and coaches here at the Celtic Classic.
Resuming game action here at court number 1 at Dublin Jerome High School. The Impact need to inbound, and I do believe that number 15 just stepped over the line, Geller, so it's going to go right back to the Hornets. So just as soon as the Impact had the ball, they're going to turn it back over because of that inbounds violation. So Hornets on offense. There's a feed inside, and it's stolen away by Quackenbush. They were trying to feed Smith that ball, but it's stolen away by Quackenbush. Quackenbush into the low post. She's going to dish it, and that is up. That's no good. I do believe the Hornets got a piece of that one. Hornets with possession of this ball. Take it into the front court. That is number 11, Carpenter, and Carpenter is going to step on that boundary line. I tell you, these boundary lines have been just a real doozy for all of the teams that we have seen here. There is not a single team who has not committed some kind of violation stepping into the out of bounds territory. And so on the other end, it's the Impact up and good. That is Holmberg, who was fed that ball in the low post. She put it up for 2, and it's 4-1 Impact on the other end. That's Holbert. Holbert is going to lose the ball, and it's given back to the Impact. So that's Quackenbush who has it, and it's out of bounds. And who are they going to say it's out of bounds off of? The Hornets, so it will remain Impact's ball. And a few subs are going to come in. Numbers 15, 24, and 13 for the Hornets. So 15 is Maynard, 24 is Fleck, 13 Nealon. On the inbounds, it's almost knocked away. It is knocked away, and it's going to go off of the Hornets. So they're going to say that the Hornets knocked it away, and it went off of them, and it will be out of bounds at that point underneath the Impact's hoop. Quackenbush will be the one to pass the ball from the out of bounds. They stack up. She pounds the ball, begin their motion, and there's a ball that's coming our way, and are they able to save it? Yes, they are. There's a shot underneath. That's up. That's no good, and out of bounds and off of the Hornets, so will remain Impact ball. And that was Carpenter, who I do believe that ball was off of, as Quackenbush gets a call from the Impact sideline for an out of bounds play, and there's the inbounds pass and went off of somebody's foot, and they're going to say that was off of the Hornets, so it remains right here. So the Impact to inbound it with 8:48 to play here in the first half. Ball is smacked. It's up. And able to save it from going. Nope. They're going to call it travel. So Weagle fielded it, but then traveled with it. So it's now Hornets ball. Inbounds it comes. That's Carpenter. Carpenter taking it back to the top. Dishes it inside, wide open underneath, up and good. That was Maynard who was fed the ball in the low post, and the score 4-3. Impact have a 1-point lead over the Hornets. Quackenbush in the backcourt, getting a little bit of pressure back there, courtesy of Ingram, and she's able to bypass Ingram and get into the front court, and she is fouled, and that foul on the Hornets, that is a foul on Maynard. That's the third team foul on the Hornets. A couple of subs to speak of in the game for the Hornets, Hughes, and in the game for the Impact, Travis. Into the low post. Getting some stiff resistance there. That foul on Fleck, as Weagle was trying to put the ball up in the low post, and they're going to say a non-shooting foul, so another inbounds pass for the Impact forthcoming. Inbounded to Weagle, gives it back to Quackenbush. Quackenbush on the left. Quackenbush going to fade away, put up a shot that almost went for her. A lot of power there. A rebound on the offensive side. That is up, and that is good. Good job there by Geller to gather that rebound, put it up, and put it back in for two. 6-3 the score. Impact with the advantage. Hornets back on offense. Putting up a quick shot. That is up and no good. That was Carpenter on that shot. And that foul on the Impact. That's their second team foul. Hornets on the inbounds. Quick shot. That is up and no good. Rebounded on the offensive side. That is Hughes on that rebound. And she's tied up, and there's a loose ball taken away by Quackenbush. Quackenbush has it for the Impact. Dribbling behind her back. She gets into the front court. Quackenbush on the drive. Quackenbush keeps it. Quackenbush dishes, and that is over to Travis. And Travis has it up at the top. Travis looking for somebody to pass to. Pass it back to Quackenbush. Into the right corner it comes and drives a baseline and has it knocked out of her hands, and so it will remain Impact ball. And that is Geller who had it and had it knocked out of her hands. Quackenbush inbounding. Over to Weagle, and it's over her head and able to save it from going into the backcourt. That was number 7, Travis. Good job by her. And travel on Travis, so it's going to come back to the Hornets. So Travis did a good job of saving an over and back, but then walked with it. So comes back to the Hornets. With 7:13 to go here in the first half. Numbers 4 and 3 in for the Hornets. 3 is Dannison, 4 Ingram. Sitting will be Carpenter and Maynard. Ingram gets a pick. Ingram into the left corner. Ingram down low, she dishes, she puts it up, that's no good. And getting her own shot, that's Hughes. Hughes puts it back up, that's no good. Rebounded there by the Impact. That's Weagle on the rebound. Quackenbush at the point. Almost loses it, and there's a loose ball. Quackenbush has it, gives it back off, and that's to Holmberg. She gives it to Travis with a shot. That was partially blocked, they say. That's out of bounds off of the Impact, so it goes back to the Hornets now. 6-3 the score. Ingram on the dribble. Dishes it. Over to Nealon. Nealon with a shot on the baseline. That's no good. Rebounded there by the Hornets and taken there by the Impact. Quackenbush has it now. Quackenbush has it stolen away from her. And loose ball, and who's it going to go to? Yep, they're going to say that's a foul on the Hornets. Foul on number 13, Nealon, and that's the 15th foul on the Hornets. That's intercepted. Intercepted there by Ingram. Ingram on the interception. Ingram driving it to the other end, putting it up. That's no good. Rebounded by the Impact. That's number 7, Travis, with it. Travis pushing it ahead. Travis into the front court on an outlet pass, stolen away by Hughes. So Hughes has it for the Hornets as she gives it to Fleck, who's going to bring the ball up and play the point. She is met by Quackenbush in the front court. Over it comes onto the baseline drive. That's up and good. Ingram, nice baseline drive for her. 6-5 the score. The first 2 points for Ingram. Out of bounds, it's going to go off of the Impact, and it will be Hornets ball again. So checking into the game for the Impact, you've got number 2 Harrington and number 1 Dills, as 15 and 24 will sit 15 Geller and number 24 Weagle. Oh, another substitution as well, and that's Branford who checks in for Travis for the Impact. So the Hornets with it, and are they going to get Quackenbush with a foul? I do believe so. So that's the 3rd team foul on the Impact. That's a foul on Quackenbush. As it comes into the low post. Hughes saves it from going out of bounds, drives it, puts it up, uses that size, and in there. 2 for Hughes, and that's the first lead of the game for the Hornets. It's 7-6. Well, I say that actually they did have a 1-0 lead, so it's not the first lead of the game for the Hornets. As there's a quick shot on the other side. That's a bank shot, good. 2 for Branford, 8-7. They respond quickly. Hornets. There's a shot. That's up, and that's going to hit the top of the backboard, but no out-of-bounds call. They're going to let him play on. On the drive, that's up, that's missed, and there's a rebound by the Impact. So, nice drive there on the part of Fleck, but not able to finish it. That ball knocked out of bounds, and it's going to remain Impact ball. And we've got a line change forthcoming for the Hornets. 4 players in, 4 players out. And only Perini stays in there. And there's an interception in the backcourt for the Hornets. That's up. That's no good. Rebounded there. Nice job there by Carpenter to gather that rebound, put it back up and in. Hornets regain the lead, 9-8. This is a good game. This 5th grade consolation game here, court number 1 at Dublin Jerome High School. Jeremy Scott on the commentary, Kayla Cazell on the camera. As Quackenbush gets it into the front court. Quackenbush dishes it, and there's no shot. They're going to say an offensive foul. And then they're going to call that, I do believe, on Harrington. So that's the 4th team foul on the Impact. And Harrington, who just committed that foul, almost stole the ball away on the inbounds. She would have had a pretty easy path to the basket, but she then knocked the ball out of bounds. So it's Hornets ball, taking it very quickly into the front court. Carpenter, coast to coast, up and in. Carpenter on the drive. What a nice job by her, 11-8. And it's stolen away on the inbounds pass, but Impact called a timeout before the inbounds pass. So wave everything off. We got a timeout on the floor. 11-8 the score with 3:49 to play in the first half. Back after this.
This is Tom Strasser from GBA TV Studios at the 14th Annual Celtic Classic here at Dublin Jerome. And you're watching GBA TV on Facebook and YouTube, where you are watching over 20 hours of live streaming games as well as interviews from players and coaches here at the Celtic Classic.
Back here, court number 1, Dublin Jerome High School. This 5th grade consolation game between the Hornets and the Impact. Right now, it is an 11-8 score for the Hornets. Inbounds it comes. Impact with it, and it's almost stolen away at half court. It is stolen away at half court. Hornets have it. Hornets have it back. Taking it down, putting it up, and missing that shot. And then it is going to be called a travel on the Hornets. And that was a good job by Holbert to get the ball all the way down there. Just wasn't able to finish on the drive. And so it comes back to the Ohio Impact. Impact have it. Impact have it stolen away on the inbound. There it is, up and no good for Holbert. And that's going to be a foul on number 24. That's Weigel. And that's the 5th team foul. So each team with 5 fouls. As Holbert inbounds it. Quick shot there. That's up. That's an air ball. And it's taken by the Hornets. So offensive rebound. And underneath it comes, not able to handle the pass. Then there's a shot. That's up, and that's no good for Carpenter. And there's a foul on the Hornets. That's the 6th team foul. So we're almost into 1-and-1 territory. And the defense there forced an inbounds violation. And it's going to come back to the Hornets after this timeout. Timeout on the floor. 3:20 to play here in the first half. Good 5th grade consolation game. It's 11-8 Hornets back here on GBA TV. Back here, and there's a quick 2 for the Hornets. That was Smith who put it up and in, and now it's 13-8 in favor of the Hornets. Impact with it now. Taking the ball down the floor is Weigel. Weigel driving the baseline. Weigel's going to take it herself, put it up. That's no good. Rebounded by the Hornets. Number 30, Holbert with that rebound. Hornets have it on offense now. Holbert's going to push it up ahead. Into the front court she comes. Holbert on offense. She's going to give it. That's a 3-point attempt. That's up and good. Nope, they're going to call that a 2-pointer, but good job by Perini, I do believe. Yes, that was Perini with the 2. And it's 15-8. On the other end, the Impact taking it, having it blocked on her way up, so she's going to go to the line. That's Branford. Branford who has 2 points. And that's a foul on the Impact. I'm sorry, the foul on the Hornets, and that's the 17th foul on them. And at the line is Branford, up and no good on the first shot. Checking back into the game for the Impact, Quackenbush, and taking a seat will be Tracy. Back at the line, Branford, shot is up and short. That's an air ball, so that will automatically go back to the Hornets. 15-8 is the score with 2.5 to play here in this opening half of action of this 5th grade consolation game, court number 1, Dublin Jerome High School. It's Jeremy Scott with you at the commentary table. And that's Smith. Smith for the Hornets. Nice move there by her. Into the lane she goes, and she is fouled on her way up. And that's going to be a foul on number 24, Weigel. And that is the 6th team foul for the Impact. So Smith will go to the line. She was in the act of shooting. This will be a 2-shot situation. Smith's first shot is up and no good. Smith 1 for 3 so far at the line. Smith awaits her second shot. It's up and good. So Smith, 50% at the line today. The score, 16-8. The Hornets have double the amount of points that the Impact have right now. Impact looking to inbound it. Having some trouble on the inbounds. They finally get it into Quackenbush. Quackenbush has to get it ahead, and she does finally, but then it's poked away from her. Taken by the Hornets. Hornets have it on offense. Taking it down. That's Carpenter. Carpenter is going to be fouled, and so I do believe Carpenter is going to go to the line. Yes, that is the 7th team foul on the Impact, and Carpenter is going to go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Hey, three, stop,
No?
stop.
Okay, maybe it's only the 6th team foul. Nope, I had it right. That was a 1-and-1. The scorers are trying to get their attention that it's a 1-and-1 situation. Always nice when my stats match up with the scorer's stats. So it will be Carpenter going to the line for this 1-and-1. Carpenter, who's got 4 points so far, looking to add to that total. With the first shot. Good. 17-8 the score. Carpenter could put her team up by double digits here as Fleck checks back in for the Hornets. And Perini will take a much-needed rest. Perini, I do believe, has played all the minutes here so far. Carpenter's second shot is up. And no good. Rebounded there on the offensive side. Up and good. What a job there by Nealon. And the score, 19-8. Quackenbush trying to get the ball into the front court. She finally does. Quackenbush. Over it comes to Geller. Geller on the drive, puts it up. That's no good. Rebounded by the Hornets. And that's Nealon who has it, who had that nice put back on the other end. Pushing down the other end, that's Carpenter. Carpenter dishes underneath, and a couple of Hornets collide. Ball goes out of bounds. And it's one of those situations where got to communicate a little better than that. But I guess when the game is moving that quickly, it's kind of hard to communicate that, and they have to work very hard to get the ball in. And this is going to be a 10-second violation. Yes. So inbounds violation on the Impact comes back to the Hornets. Bounce pass inside. On the move, inside, that's up, that's no good. Offensive rebound, and that second shot doesn't go. Into the front court, it's taken back by the Hornets. Hornets have it once again. And it's poked away by the Impact now. Impact have it back on offense. That is Travis pushing it to the other. No, that's not Travis, that's number 1, Dills. And there's a foul. And that's going to be a foul on number 5, Martinez. So that's a foul on the Impact. All right, so that's the 8th team foul for the Impact. That one on Martinez. With 1:18 to play in the first half. Maynard is going to step to the line. Maynard with 2 points here so far. Has a chance to add to that total as Geller checks out for the Impact. Maynard's first shot rims out, no good. So she misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and it's rebounded by the Impact. Impact's trying to beat a press right now. Quackenbush. They back off the press. She gets it into the front court. Quackenbush. 3-point shot. That is up, no good. Rebounded by the Hornets. Hornets on the defensive side. Very quick to those boards. Very quick on the glass are those Hornets. As Carpenter pushes it in the front court. She gives it off. Passing up on the 3-point attempt. Fleck into the low post. That's up. That's no good. And rebounded by the Hornets. They're able to get that offensive board, and then on her way up, she's fouled. And that's going to be a foul on Quackenbush for the Impact. That's the 9th team foul on the Impact. And are they going to say that number 4 Ingram was in the act of shooting? Yes, they are. So that was a shooting foul. So Ingram to the line. Her first trip to the line today, and she's going to attempt 2 foul shots. First shot is up for her and rims in there. Doesn't matter how it goes in as long as it does. 20-8 the score. She used every part of that rim to make that happen, but it went in for her. And that gives her team a 12-point lead. Second shot up. Good. So Ingram, 2 for 2 that trip to the line. The score 21-8. It is a 13-point lead as Carpenter steals it on the inbounds pass. That one's no good. It's going to go out of bounds off of the impact. So Hornets are going to get another possession out of this because Carpenter was Johnny on the spot, or would it be Jill on the spot? Anyway, it's a 13-point lead. Hornets looking to add to that total as there's a tie-up, and who does this possession arrow favor? It will favor the Ohio Impact. So the Ohio Impact are going to get the ball back. As there's an inbounds pass that's stolen away by the Hornets. That's up and no good. Doesn't fall for the Hornets. There's another jump ball. This one will favor the Hornets. So the Hornets are going to get this ball back with a chance to add to their 13-point lead with 21 seconds to go in this opening half. Fifth grade consolation game. Hornets on the inbounds. That'll be Carpenter inbounding. She does. And that is inbounds, and it's going to go back to the Impact. So the inbound pass to Maynard. Maynard had a little bit of trouble fielding that. So it's Impact's ball, and there's a full court press. Inbounds it comes to Dills. Dills has it. Dills pushing the ball down the floor. She passes it up ahead, and there's a foul. And so I do believe number 2, Harrington, is going to go to the line. And that's a foul on Maynard. That's the 8th foul. And so it will be Harrington going to the line for a 1-and-1. Harrington's first shot, no good, and it's taken by the Hornets. Hornets have 10 seconds to do something with this. That's Carpenter. Carpenter, who has arguably been the MVP so far for the Hornets in the first half. It's going to go out of bounds and off of the impact. 3 seconds to play. 3 seconds to play. So the Hornets are going to call a timeout, try to draw something up with these last 3 seconds, see if they can get some kind of inbounds pass, some kind of quick give and go or something like that here with 3 seconds to play and a 13-point lead. And we'll be back with this final play of the first half right here on GBA TV. So inbounds it comes with 3 seconds to go. Up and no good, and that will end the first half of play with the score. Hornets 21, Impact 8, and we'll be back with the second half right here on GBA TV. Getting set for the second half of play here in this 5th grade consolation game. It's Jeremy Scott here at the commentary table. So far, it's the Hornets 21, the Impact 8. We'll see what kinds of halftime adjustments have been made. It will be Impact's first possession here to start the second half. So they will have the ball to begin this second half. We'll see if they have done anything to try and stop this bleeding that they've had. They've had a long scoring drought. It's Quackenbush to control. Quackenbush with it. Some fancy dribbling. Quackenbush looking for somebody to pass to, has it stolen away from her. That's stolen away by the Hornets. That's number 2, Perini. Perini on the steal. Perini driving the ball down the floor. She's going to pass to the right corner, and they're going to say the girl she passed it to was on the inbounds line, or I should say on the out-of-bounds line in this case, when she had the ball passed to her, and that was number 3, Damison, and so it will be Impact's ball once again. Quackenbush into the right corner she comes. Quackenbush, three-point shot, no good, and therefore the rebound, that's number 13, Nealon. And I'm sorry, number 13, Nealon, number 13, Holmberg. And that foul is going to be on the Hornets, so that's the first team foul for either squad this second half. Big shout out per usual to Tom Strasser, Caleb Graham, and Jeff Ferguson making it happen on the administrative end of this broadcast. Glad to be able to do this. Inbounds it comes, and that's almost poked away, and there's a loose ball. Hornets end up with it, and then they say that the Hornet who ended up with it traveled with it. That was Dannison. So Dannison had it, but she walked with the ball, and it will go back to the Impact. And it's Hornets ball again, stolen away, and then it's stolen back. That's number 99, Miller on the steal. Miller driving it down to the hoop, putting it up, and that's no good. Rebounded by the Hornets. Hornets have it back on offense. 2-on-1. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Underneath the hoop it comes. The fielder has some problems fielding that ball, and it's Impact's ball once again. Good job there by Hughes to get back down there, but she had a little trouble fielding that pass, and I do believe that that slowed up the play just enough to give the ball back to the Impact. Impact have it, and it's out of bounds, and it's going to go off of the Hornets. It will remain Impact's ball. Quackenbush to inbound, and she does, and it goes over the head of that intended receiver, but she's able to get it before it goes into the backcourt. That intended receiver, Weagle. Weagle has it, wiggling her way down into the lane, and she's going to get fouled on her way up. So that will be a 2-shot foul, I do believe, for the Hornets. And that is a foul on Perini. That is the second team foul on the Hornets. So Weagle at the line. First shot up, good. And that stops a long scoring drought for the Ohio Impact. It's Weagle's third point. Looking for point number 4. Impact. Second shot. And goes in. Again, doesn't matter how it goes in as long as it does. It used every part of that rim, but it's now a 21-10 game. Hornets lead the Impact. Bringing the ball into the front court. That is Smith. Smith has it on the left wing. Fancy dribbling there by her. Fancy footwork, fancy dribbling. Into the lane, she comes with it. Floater, good. What a play there by Smith. That was all her. 23-10 now the score. The Hornets respond quickly to that pair of free throws that the Impact just had. On the other end, that's Miller with it. Miller in the left corner. She gives it off. That's an Impact shot from the elbow. That is up and no good. Rebounded there by Holmberg. Holmberg has it. She puts it back up. That one's no good. Rebounded there by Hughes. So the Hornets have it back now on offense. Hornets with it. Smith with the ball. Smith, who had the last points for the Hornets, she gives it off. And it's going to go back to Perini. Up top it comes. That's a three-point look. That's up and good. 3 points for Holbert, her first 3 of the ball game, and that makes it a 26-10 game. On the other end, Impact have some problems on the inbounds. They finally get it back. That's Miller. And was she across? Yes, that is an over and back. So Miller commits an over and back. And so it's going to come back to the Hornets now off of that backcourt violation. 26-10 the score. We're at 9:39 to go here in the second half. 5th grade consolation game, court number 1, Dublin Jerome High School. Jeremy Scott on the commentary, Kayla Cazell on the camera. And it will be Hornets ball. They have a 16-point advantage. That's Smith with it. She gets a pick. Smith passes into the right corner. Underneath it comes to Hughes. She puts it up and in. Hughes, nice shot. 28-10. Impact inbound. That's Weagle. Weagle. Over it comes to Holmberg. Holmberg at the line. Puts it up, and that one's going to rim out on her. Rebounded by Smith. So the Hornets have it back. Hornets facing a little bit of a press here. Smith gets it across. Overcomes and poked out of the hand of Perini, and it's going to remain Hornets ball. So an 18-point lead here. Another bucket by the Hornets. It becomes a running clock. Giving it off to Dennison. Over to left and Smith. She pump fakes, she drives, she puts it up, and she's fouled on her way up. And that foul on Quackenbush. The first team foul on the impact, so Quackenbush commits the foul on Smith, who's going to go to the line, she's 50% so far. She's 2 of 4 from the charity stripe here this morning. Almost said this afternoon. We actually have 6 more minutes of morning to go. So it'll be Smith at the foul line to shoot 2. And there's the substitution as Quackenbush has some foul trouble, I do believe, for the impact. So that'll be number 1, Dills. And Smith knocks down the first one. The second shot is up, and that one falls as well. And so it is indeed a 30-10 game. It is a running clock at this point for the Hornets, and they almost have a steal in the backcourt. And they're going to call a double dribble. That's a double dribble on Miller. So it's coming back to the Hornets now. Miller commits a double dribble. There's a bounce pass to Smith, kind of an errant pass, and that was in traffic, and that's a jump ball. And that'll favor the Hornets, so the Hornets will keep possession of this. Inbounds it comes to Dennison. Dennison looking for somebody to pass to. She finds Smith. Smith drives, floats, and no good. Rebounded by Smith. I'm sorry, that's Hughes on the rebound. And that's a tie-up, and it's going to favor the Impact. So the Impact will keep this. And a line change forthcoming for the Hornets. And it's inbounded. The Impact have it. Taking it to the other end. That's Weagle. Weagle down low. That's up no good. Rebounded by the Hornets. Nice rebound there. And they're going to say that the rebounder traveled with it. That rebounder, Carpenter. And so the Zebras had a better vantage point than I did. But it is Impact's ball with a running clock. They are down 20. Inbounds it comes. That's taken away by the Hornets. Hornets get it back, and then it's poked away by the Impact. Loose ball. Who has it? It's a tie-up, and this one's going to favor the Hornets. So we've had quite a few jump ball situations here in just these past 2 minutes. And this one's coming back to the Hornets, so it will remain Hornets ball. And the Impact have a little bit of confusion here. It's the Hornets ball. And it'll be Carpenter to inbound. Inbounds it comes. There's Carpenter. Carpenter going to take it into the front court. Carpenter gives it off to Fleck. Fleck down low. Back outside to Carpenter it comes. Carpenter to the right corner. Carpenter baseline. Carpenter trapped there and has to take it away from her. And they're going to say that the player who stole the ball, Weagle, stepped on that boundary line, and so it's going to come back to the Hornets. Good defensive play there by the Impact. Just committed the infraction of stepping out of bounds, so it comes back to the Hornets. Into the right corner. Driving, putting it up, and no good. And there's a jump ball. This one will favor the Impact. So Ingram got it on the inbounds, and she drove it, and she missed the shot. And the jump ball situation at that point. Coming back into the game for the Impact, Travis. And stepping out will be Dills. Impact to inbound. And they do. That's Holmberg. Holmberg, up ahead it comes. That's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the Hornets. Hornets get the ball back. And into the front court they come as they almost lose the ball, but they get it back. That's Fleck with it on the left wing. Fleck has it poked away from behind. She gets it back. She gives it off to Carpenter, who gets it to Ingram. Ingram on the drive, and on her way up, they're going to say no foul. And there's a jump ball.
Kelly, take it out. 4 down.
And this one will favor the Impact. Oh. No, they're going to say that was a foul on the Hornets, so excuse me. No jump ball. That's a foul on the Hornets. That was on number 15, Maynard. And that's a foul on number 24, Weigel. Second team foul for the Impact this half. So back it comes to the Hornets. Fleck on the inbound. She inbounds it to Maynard. Maynard driving the ball down the left side. Maynard met there, and some nice defense there by the Impact, but the Hornets get the ball back. Outside it comes to Carpenter. Carpenter on the right wing. Dishes it to Ingram. Ingram with a three-point shot. That is up and no good. Rebounded by the Impact, and that's a rebound by Holmberg. And she gives it off to Geller. Geller in front of us. And there's a loose ball that's corralled by the Hornets. On the other end, Maynard, good. Maynard with 4 points. It's a 32-10 game. Hornets with the 22-point advantage. Substitution. That's Harrington, who's in for Weigel. As the Impact have it now. That's Travis bringing the ball up the floor. Met by Carpenter. And stolen away. Stolen away by Maynard. Maynard driving it to the other end, putting it up, and fouled on her way up. And so Maynard will go to the line to shoot two. That foul on number 7, Travis. As Maynard going to step up to the line for a pair of free throws because she was fouled on her way up. The first shot is up and good. Maynard, that is her first free throw make of the day. She is 1 of 2 so far. Travis checks out of the game. Quackenbush back in for the Impact. Maynard's second shot forthcoming. It's up. And it's good. Nothing but the bottom of the net. She's 2 of 3 from the foul line today. 34-10 the score. Hornets on top. Quackenbush met at half court. And it's taken back by the Impact. That foul on number 15, Maynard. And that's the 4th team foul on the Hornets. So the Impact will be taking this ball out of bounds. By the way, we are at 4:15 and winding. It is, of course, a running clock as the Hornets have a lead of 20 points or more. And there's the 5th team foul on the Hornets. That one on Fleck. So Fleck called with that foul. Inbounds it comes. That is to Harrington. Harrington on the baseline. She gives it up, cross-court pass. Almost stolen away, and there's a tie-up. Nope, they're going to call a foul. And that's the 6th team foul on the Hornets. That one's on Maynard. So the Impact have a 24-point deficit with 3.5 to play and a running clock as Quackenbush calls out a play from the boundary. Quackenbush looking for somebody to inbound it to. She finds Harrington. Harrington loses it out of bounds, and it's going to come back to the Hornets. I'll tell you what, that swarming defense, no pun intended, of the Hornets really causing a lot of problems for the Impact. And you just saw proof positive of that. I mean, she had to really stretch out for that, and she wasn't able to maintain possession of it. She lost it out of bounds, and the Hornets get the ball back on offense. That's Carpenter who gets the ball into the front court. She gives it off to number 4, Ingram. Ingram on the drive. Floater, good. Ingram with 6 points, 36-10. And here comes a line change for the Hornets. We've got 5 players getting ready to check back in as Quackenbush gets the ball into the front court for the Ohio Impact. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play here in this half. And there's a mishandled pass. It goes out of bounds. And here comes that line change for the Hornets. 5 players checking back in and 5 players checking out. I do believe this is the starting 5 who comes back into the ball game for the Hornets. As for the Impact, number 99, Miller will come back in, and number 23, Branford, will sit. Into the front court comes Smith for the Hornets. She's double teamed there. Passes it off. Back it comes to Smith. She's going to attempt a long three-pointer, and it's long off the back of the iron. Rebounded there by the Impact. That is number 15, Geller on the rebound, and it's a travel on the Impact, so it's going to come back to the Hornets now. And we're under 2 minutes now to play in this second half. Timeout on the floor. We'll go ahead and take it with them with 1:46. Nope, no timeout on the floor. Or maybe so. There is a timeout on the floor. Okay. The clock stops at 1:40. I think that clock ran a little bit longer than it was supposed to, but that's all right. We'll be back with the remainder of this one right here on GBA TV. Inbounds it comes to the Hornets with 1:40 and winding on this clock. And it's stolen away by the Impact off an errant pass. Impact pushing the ball into the front court. That's Holmberg with it. Holmberg on the drive, and she has the ball deflected, and it's taken there by Miller. Miller in the low post. She gives it off, and it's stolen away by the Hornets. Hornets on the loose ball. They've got it now. That is number 3, Dennison with it. She's going to take the ball coast to coast. She's going to pull up, and she's going to lose possession of that ball, and they're going to say that was partially deflected. It was all ball, no foul. That's Smith with it now. Smith on the drive. She's going to dish it underneath. Wide open is Hughes, who misses the wide open lay-in, and it's taken by the Impact. That's Quackenbush driving it up the right-hand side. Quackenbush has it for the Impact. She loses it out of bounds. They're going to say that she lost it herself. There was no sort of impact by the Hornets there, and so it's going to come back to the Hornets now, and we are at under a minute to play. 50 seconds and winding on this second half clock. Into the lane it comes, and mishandling that pass is Hughes, but it's corralled by the Hornets. They get the shot off. It's no good. It's rebounded by the Impact. That's Quackenbush with it now. She's going to give it off to Holmberg. Holmberg is going to get it into the front court, and they're going to see if they can stop their bleeding before this game ends. The Impact I'm talking about, that's Miller on the drive, and she's going to get tied up, and she's going to pass it off. That's Holmberg with a shot. That's going to be an air ball, and rebounding it underneath there, that is number 24, Weagle. Weagle gets her own shot, and she is fouled on her way back up, so Weagle's going to go to the line. She's going to shoot 2. That foul on the Hornets. And that is the 7th team foul on the Hornets, so even if she hadn't been in the act of shooting, it would be a 1-on-1 with 23 seconds to play. Weagle stepping up to the line. First shot is up, and it sinks. Good. So Weagle 3 for 3 at the line. 36-11 the score. Into the right corner it comes for the Hornets. There's a shot that's up. That's no good. Rebounded by the Impact, and there's a tie-up. And it will favor the Hornets. We're at 6 seconds to play. And the clock begins to wind. And that will be one final shot for the Hornets. That's up, no good, but it's all cosmetic at this point, all elementary. The final score, 36-11. The Hornets take this one over the Impact. We'll be back with plenty of action all day long right here on GBA TV. Thanks for joining us.